Hey friends, welcome back to the Sarai Show. So today we're diving deep into the top 10 Super Bowl commercials of 2025. So yesterday I mentioned how much I really hated the Super Bowl because I genuinely hate all sports. But I also mentioned that, like many people, I consider the commercials to be the highlight of the Super Bowl, right? But yesterday, those commercials left a lot to be desired. It wasn't just another year of big budget ads. This was a year of the safest place I've ever seen in my life. So I thought that I'd share with you my personal reflections. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, so number one, Budweiser's first delivery. I thought this one was a heartwarming ad. And especially after I found out that it features a young Clydesdale foal that trained for 2 months to be in this commercial. True story. And so the premise of this one is you have a younger horse that's very determined to join the team of older horses by rolling a fallen beer keg to a bar that had been dropped earlier. And so it's doing all of this through this beautiful scenery, and I really have to admit, the commercial visually, oh my God, it's so pretty. It's a classic underdog story, your typical American dream, perseverance and hard work always lead to success, that type of message. And I couldn't help but think to myself, okay, in today's climate where we're talking about DEI initiatives being against meritocracy, where we just cannot agree on debates about opportunity being equal for all, I see why Budweiser wanted to play it safe and remind us of traditional values. And, historically, it does make sense because Budweiser is known to always use the Clydesdales as a symbol of Americana, right? So they're reinforcing this message as they normally do. And there is beauty in the tradition. There is. But the safe, nostalgic ads are feeling a little bit predictable. Okay, Budweiser, we get it. Every year you bring back the Clydesdales and a sentimental story about hard work and determination, and it's all starting to feel a little old. It's basically the Super Bowl equivalent of a Hallmark movie. Politically, it's a safe bet. It romanticizes the American dream while avoiding any controversy. But let's be honest, in real life, I know the American work ethic is alive, but people are working harder for less. So, yeah, is it cute? Of course. Is it impactful? I'd say it's a little more obnoxious when you know that's not the America we live in, but more like the America we wish we had. Number two, Hellman's When Sally Met Hellman's. This was basically a remake of When Harry Met Sally, which came out a year after I was born, so in 1989. It reunites Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal to recreate an iconic scene, except this ad is about mayonnaise. On a personal level, it's like a nice little reminder of classic cinema. But again, I feel like it sidesteps controversy. It focuses instead on shared cultural moments, which is a safe move in today's polarized environment. But I just don't feel like Super Bowl commercials are about that. It feels like one of those ideas a marketing team came up with after one too many corporate brainstorming sessions, right? And it lacks any real depth. The original movie is about love, connection, and witty banter, and it has nothing to do with mayonnaise or sandwiches. But also, it felt like it was leaving out the younger generations. Like it was some inside joke that anyone born after the 90s wasn't in on. I thought the Super Bowl was an opportunity to bring families and friends together for football, food, and fun. But this one just didn't feel very family friendly. But then again, it wouldn't be the first time. Number three, Michelob Ultra, the Ultra Hustle. So this features William Dafoe and Catherine O'Hara hustling younger couples in pickleball matches. And this ad blends humor and the rising popularity of pickleball. They were acting like amateurs at first, but then suddenly dominating the game. And so it's funny, it's lighthearted, and it plays on the idea that older people can still compete with younger generations. I also think that it subtly comments on showing that skill and wit aren't confined to the young. In a society that's increasingly valuing youth, I feel like brands tend to highlight the prowess of older generations in Super Bowl ads. Which, okay, the commercial overall was solid, but not groundbreaking. And don't get me wrong, Willem Dafoe and Catherine O'Hara hustling younger pickleball players is pretty hilarious. But it also felt like it was trying too hard to tap into the pickleball boom without adding much commentary. I feel like this could have been an opportunity to take a shot at how older generations are often dismissed in many environments. So it hinted at breaking age stereotypes, but it mostly relied on basic humor, like, oh, look at these old people secretly being great at sports. It was a fun joke, but it didn't challenge the actual biases that older generations face. Instead, it felt like a lighthearted joke about boomers being good at pickleball. It's fine, but it's not saying much. And that's the tricky part. Can an ad be both funny and meaningful without losing its punch? I think it can, yes. But it takes a little more effort in the writing and the execution. But that's kind of what's expected in a Super Bowl commercial, don't you think? Number four, Mountain Dew's Kiss from a Lime. So this was a quirky commercial. It was showcasing a seal with the face of singer Seal performing. It was bizarre and kind of memorable, but also a testament to the blending of AI and creativity in advertising. In an era where digital manipulation is becoming such a hot topic, this ad is an example of the fusion of art and tech, which I believe we're going to start to see a lot of. I loved it because it's completely unhinged, but it also feels like a sign of the times, like AI and deepfakes are making things way too weird. Number five, Nike's So Win. This ad focused on the challenges and double standards that female athletes face in sports. It featured very prominent female athletes, including Caitlin Clark, Jordan Childs, and Sha'Carri Richardson. So it's your classic black and white commercial showcasing the resilience of these athletes against the various criticism and expectations imposed on them in sports that ultimately encourages them to succeed. So, okay, once again, Nike delivered an empowering message, but that was kind of expected. They always deliver these high energy, visually stunning commercials. They always tend to be strong and timely. For example, Caitlin Clark dealing with criticism over how she carries herself in basketball, and Sha'Carri Richardson being villainized after her Olympic disqualification. But I feel like Nike has done this message before. One that comes to mind is Serena Williams, the one, if we show emotion, we're hysterical. If we dream of equal opportunity, we're delusional. Remember the one? Yes, it's an important message, and yes, it's very well done, but it doesn't feel fresh. Also, like, criticism is not the only problem that female athletes face. It's not even the most important problem that they face. Talk about pay gaps, sponsorship inequalities, lack of media coverage. If you're going to call out their struggles, be bold enough to call out the actual structural problems behind them. So, yeah, it's clean, it's polished, and it's ultimately forgettable. Number six, Little Caesars. Whoa! So Eugene Levy's eyebrows literally fly off in surprise at Little Caesar's crazy puffs. It adds a dash of surreal humor, but what's the point? In my opinion, this is just a gimmick without substance. I love Eugene Levy and I love surreal humor, but what is the actual takeaway here? His eyebrows flying off in surprise at a new pizza? It's a fun visual gag, but that's pretty much all it is. This is the kind of ad that you chuckle at and then completely forget about by halftime. There's literally no social commentary, no cultural relevance, just haha, funny eyebrows. It's a waste of talent. Number 7, Duncan's Dunkings 2, the movie. So Ben Affleck, Casey Affleck, and Jeremy Strong team up in a showdown between coffee brands, only to unite over Duncan's iced coffee. This one plays out like a fake movie trailer, dramatic, over the top. It's kind of like a parody of big budget action films. So, this is supposed to be a sequel from the first Dunkings ad, which was considered a success. It's funny and ridiculous. It's a quirky reminder that common ground can be found even if it's over a cup of coffee. It also felt like celebrity overload without a purpose. It was entertaining, but if you're not aware that Ben Affleck loves Dunkin' or that he basically built his brand around being a Boston guy who drinks iced coffee year round, it's not really going to land. If you don't care about Ben Affleck or Boston culture, it's irrelevant to you. And to me, it's just another example of how Hollywood celebrities turn ads into self referential inside jokes. It's fun if you're in on it, but it doesn't really say anything new. And it's more of a skit than a real commercial. Also, it is way too long. Number 8, GoDaddy's Act Like You Know. So this ad features Walton Goggins, and it's actually one of my favorites, but I'm a little biased because I'm pretty obsessed with the Righteous Gemstones. So in this ad, Walton Goggins is showcasing his ultimate side hustle, except it's a little ridiculous. He starts off bragging about his business success as an actor, looking like your typical self made entrepreneur. And then we realize his business is selling goggle glasses, which looks like a knockoff Google Glass. The ad leads into the absurdity of modern hustle culture and how so many aspiring entrepreneurs dream of building empires using GoDaddy's website tools. And I honestly believe this was surprisingly clever. It makes it seem like anyone can start a business, even a bad one, in a very comical way. So it's a low key win for entrepreneurship. And I thought this ad was one of the better ones. I thought it was both funny and relevant. We're in an era where everyone is trying to be their own boss, side hustles, startups, personal branding. This ad actually understands the moment. It's not groundbreaking, but at least it speaks to where people are right now. Number 9, Pfizer's Knockout. So this one's about a child training like a boxer to fight cancer, and it delivers a powerful message that isn't too over the top. It touches on healthcare and the battles many people face because at this point, we've all directly either known someone or indirectly known of someone battling cancer. The ad follows a young child training like a boxer, waking up early, running in the streets, doing push ups, hitting a punching bag. So you think it's leading to some big fight, but then it turns out he's fighting cancer. Then Pfizer's logo appears with a message about their advancements in cancer treatment. So, although this is a classic emotional manipulation tactic, it wasn't overdone. It was powerful but calculated. Healthcare and big pharma are hot button issues right now, and Pfizer is trying to position itself as a hero, and this one feels particularly strategic. Number 10, He Gets Us campaign. This campaign portrays Jesus in modern context, emphasizing inclusivity and compassion. It's emotionally charged, it's cinematic, it's black and white. It's reframing Jesus as a modern day figure of love, tolerance, and social justice. It's a very bold move, bringing religious messaging into a commercial space, but I liked it. I liked it because it basically calls modern day conservative Christians hypocrites. The final frame of the commercial directs viewers to a website inviting them to learn more about Jesus in a non traditional way, implying that faith is not about exclusion, but about acceptance and love. So it's not your typical Super Bowl beer ad. It's literally asking viewers to rethink faith. And I normally wouldn't agree with a religious message, especially where it feels a little out of place. But what I love about it is how we've had so many conservatives using religion and patriotism to justify hatred and bigotry, when in reality, patriotism and religion have nothing to do with that. So I love that while half America is tuned in watching the Super Bowl, wanting more than anything to escape the divisiveness we've allowed our politicians to inflict on our country, this commercial interrupts you to say, "Hello, you hypocrites, enjoying the game?" And I'm here for it. And there you have it, folks, the top 10 Super Bowl commercials of 2025, each with its own unique flavor and underlying messages. It's fascinating to see how brands navigate the complex landscape of politics, culture, and personal connection to create ads that resonate with the majority of America. It also sounds impossible. Don't forget to let me know which one was your favorite in the comments below. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I'll see you in the next one.